was 20 years ago. Okay, you can record it. Yeah, 20 years ago. I think. Let me see. Almost 30, maybe 25 years ago, when I was a graduate student. That time I used Matlab. Then it's become getting very popular in many big industries such as General Motors, Apple, even Tesla. They heavily use this Matlab software to control the electric vehicle and design the overall electrical something like the engineering system and try to see the overall performance. So this Matlab software is kind of very fundamental. So if you are engineering student, it's got to know, including some other languages, the software such as C language, C++, and Python also getting popular. So we try to get to the Matlab throughout the this week, every 2 hours. So I can really, give you, maybe I'm not going to give you any kind of exam and test, but throughout that this lecture, you are able to find out a lot of example on the slide that I already forward through the Hanan. So try to do the some example problem during the workshop, and then if you need more more the problem, and if you want to challenge more, more the high level of typical problems, so you better take the this course EC72. Okay, so let's share the screen and see. So you can see the this email. So this is the link, right? So one link is if you install the Matlab, it'll be good. Already you have the computer as a personal state. So we have some contract between CSU system and the Mathwork, who making the provide the Matlab software. So as a your personal state student, you are able to download this software in free because you paid a lot of tuition. But if you're industry, this software is going to be minimum $5,000. With the full package, the industry paying that 20 and 30,000, it doesn't matter because it can control the robot, you can control the electric vehicle and drone, many things you can do just solely using this Matlab. So just go here, this link. So you just sign in using the personal status account and once you sign in. So there are many versions. So I recommend you install the latest version, such as sorry about that. If you don't have the Matlab, that's fine. So we can walk through the online Matlab. There is the other Matlab. So don't worry about that. As long as you connect the internet, it will be fine. So there are previous versions. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but every time, every year, they just keep updating a lot of the toolbox, something like special function. So this 2020A, 2020 already have a two version, A and B. I think it say that kind of updated and new version. So they do have a 2020A, so which I have that I installed already. Yeah. 2020A, I do have it. But anyway, yeah. So I recommend you, if your computer is allowed to download and install it, it's kind of a little bit heavy in taking the heavy hard disk and even the memory, but recommend you download the 2021, which also has a lot of the toolbox, such as the image processing toolbox, some embedded control toolbox. But if you are interested, you can adding that kind of toolbox, or there also there is some kind of mechanical toolbox, thermodynamics toolboxes, whatever, using the Simulink. But we're not gonna really cover the Simulink. Simulink is more like the other Matlab's language, for more like the visualized language, like here. By clicking and dragging out several symbols, you can connecting together. You're able to simulate it, but Simulink I'm not gonna really cover throughout this 5-day workshop. If you're interested, as I told you, taking the EC72, this is the required second language course for EC, electrical and computer engineering student, but I'm not going to talk about the Simulink. Simulink also getting very, very popular, especially in control design, electric vehicle system. So recently, I check out that the Apple website is kind of employment website. They're looking for the some power and electric vehicle engineer, because they try to making the Apple, making the electric vehicle. They try to know that somebody who know that Matlab, not only Matlab, and also the Simulink. Okay, so okay, just download it and install it if your computer is okay. And the other thing is that today maybe you just simply throw that is like the online version. Okay. Good thing is I recently find out they just offering kind of online version of Matlab, so you are exactly see the exactly same the Matlab functions throughout the online the environment. Okay, so by logging in the personal status account, you can install it, or you can open the Matlab's online version. It's kind of a little bit slow. Okay. If you don't have the Matlab, just using the online version will be fine for the today, just for the introduction. Okay. You can see the exactly same environment. Okay, you can see that. So this is the Matlab window. There are several small windows, like they're showing the current folder and workspace and so forth. So I'm gonna explain this one by one throughout the PowerPoint. Then we're gonna go back to the Matlab install version if you have it, or online version. Try to see what's going on. How are we gonna do the play with your Matlab your program. Okay, so we're gonna do very simple thing today. Maybe try to do publish your code in PDF file, and then the other thing is we try to see the how we're gonna manipulate, generate the vector and scalar and something like that. How we're gonna do the arithmetic calculation, addition, minus, subtraction, and division using the Matlab. Not only one number, even the vector. Okay. Also see what's the main difference between the Matlab and other computer languages such as C and C++. So if you have any questions, just feel free to stop me. Okay. So yeah, my name is Unkina, and of course this name is not really familiar, right? Familiar, not really Matt or Robert is American name. So I originally from the Korea, not the North Korea, South Korea. So a long time ago. I've been here almost 20 years, 2002, for the PhD. I got a PhD, University of Texas, Arlington, Dallas area, in 2008. And then based upon graduation, I worked for the Caterpillar, yellow construction machine, excavator, and something like that. 1 year, University of Michigan, I did the postdocs 1 year, and there is a university private school, Bradley University, located Peoria, Illinois. I had taught over there 3 years, and since 2013, I joined this school and teaching the. Actually, my major area is like the power electronics. Try to do the motor control and then machine design and something like that. The power converter, battery charging and discharging, which is very, very hardcore of the electrical engineering, hardcore of electric vehicle system. So getting it very popular. So if you're interested, then if you want to be a electric vehicle industry or drone, something like that, got involved with the motor and motor control. So recommend you taking my course EC 121, electromechanical system or energy conversion. I'm offering this semester. Even next semester, the spring, I'm teaching the power electronics. So if you know that power electronics, maybe some industry is really interested in you, or you know how to control the motor, not the DC motor, AC, alternating current motor. And if you want to do the maybe electric vehicle charging and discharging, and maybe think about that, taking the power electronics the spring semester. Okay, so let's get started with the actual presentation. Any question, anything will be good? So let me know. I can check in the chat box and anything. Okay. This semester I'm teaching the EC 90 and 91. Maybe mechanical engineering student, you may see me from the next week. Basic introduction of electrical engineering, basic electrical circuit. I'm teaching from the next semester. Okay, so let's see some presentation. So around the maybe 55-minute lecture, and then throughout this workshop and some practice, we're gonna have a maybe 5-minute, maybe bathroom break, restroom break, and then come back and 11, and then maybe 50-minute additional workshop will be operating. Okay. Okay, you can see that the PowerPoint right here. So window, as you see that Matlab there is several windows. When you open that, click here, Matlab. So you could see there's some command window, workspace window, and command history, and current folder. You will see that. And also there is some documentation. If you're curious about that, Matlab some function, some function, simply type that the function name. Matlab provide a lot of information regarding the function you just type. And then also we're going to write the code as a script file. Okay, there is some kind of additional window, then we're going to write the code, and then see on this, they call it, we can write it something like a script file, and then so if you want to publish as a different file format, such as a PDF and Word documentation, you are able to do that. Even the HTML, the web documentation. Okay, so that's the desktop and current folder and window history and workspace and command window. I think this is a little bit. Oh, sorry about that. What's going on here? Okay. And sorry about that. So when you click the sorry, I have to. Somebody try to look it for me. Close the window. Hopefully, nobody really looking for it. Sorry about that. Okay, and if you click the Matlab, you are able to see and this screen. So basically, this version has the several window right here, right? So this is the window, command window, and current folder and detail and workspace. So let's start from the CLC. CLC means you can clear the old screen. Okay, clear the old screen, and then this is just command window. With command window, Matlab can use as a calculator. For example, so you just set the A just simply is equal to 1. Okay, now A, the variable, having as numbers is 1, and B is equal to 2. So Matlab is very, very user-friendly language. It's not really difficult software at all. Even I believe a high school student can learn the Matlab very easily as long as they have a basic computer programming background. So now we set A equals 1, B equals 2, then we just add up this A and B. A plus B is equal to C. How are we going to do that? I simply just type A and B. It's wrong, right? Because I wrongly type as A, suppose A plus B. Matlab kindly show that what's going on. There is something wrong. Incorrect use of the equal operator assign the value. So I just want to do the A plus B. If you have a Matlab, so you can try to do the same thing. Okay. I'm assuming that everybody know that Matlab is kind of new to you, then explain something. But if you already know something about the Matlab, it's a little bit boring because I'm talking about the introduction of the Matlab. So we expecting C is gonna be what, 3, right? Okay. So by typing the CLC, it's gonna clear all the history, okay? But if you look at that, the workspace, left-hand side is small window. So it shows that each variable we just type, and then show that each variable is, the value is gonna be double, of course, it's scalar, and then A is gonna be 1 and 2, and C is gonna be 3. It shows that exactly. But if you just simply type to the command window, what you can see is gone. Okay, so we can clear out workspace, all the variable we just save as scalar. Okay, so we can try A equals 1. You can see something like that. Other difference is that if you type the B equals 1 and using that this is colon operator, semicolon operator, what you can see is going to be being echoed. It's not really show anything, any output. But if you go to your workspace, B gonna save as 1, even though we're not gonna really see the actual output because we just put that this is semicolon operator. Okay, so that's the main difference. So C equals 1, then you can see that show that C equals 1 display, but if you put that C equals 1 with a semicolon operator, nothing is displayed. So very basic things we went through, right now. So by typing A equals 1 and B and C, Matlab able to save each variable as a scalar. Okay, if you go to the workspace, if you click it, and there's some value, you can see it's going to be 1 by 1 is double. Okay, double this size of each of the number. So we're going to cover later on what is the double. It's going to be related to bit and byte information. So double mean it's going to be 2 byte. So each this number can have that 2 byte, almost 16. 16 bit, right? So we'll cover later about that. Okay, that's the basic about the Matlab. Let's see. Clear up this window. Okay. So let's see, type the CLC, everything is clear, and then clear. Then I able to delete the workspace, all the variable we just saved. It's gone. Okay, now everything is clear. Okay. And sometimes this window could be undocking, but this function is gonna rarely I use. If you need it, you can do the undocking that this window. Okay, let me see. For example, right here, there is some function right here, right? So command the window, we could do the undocking, right? So by clicking here, this window will be separated. Command the window will be separate. I think I separate that the other screen right here. Okay. But you don't really need to do that. Okay, just go over here and just dock. Going back to original. Layout, you are able to control the layout of the Matlab. So just go to that layout. You can choose the default layout and 3 column and whatever you want. So I just try to read it 3 column layout, and then let's say all but the command window minimize. But normally I just put that this default layout to see the command window and it's gonna be this program. All the variable could be saved under this directory, and then some detail, as I say, under the workspace window, you're able to see all the variable you try to save. Okay. And what else I can do? Okay, so exactly the same thing I did. X is gonna be 1 plus 2. With the semicolon operator, it doesn't really show that the final, any output, because it will be echo. Okay. Without this semicolon, Matlab displays x equals, this is what? 3. Okay. Same thing. Yeah. So other thing is the saving some workspace variable to the MAT. That is the Matlab, the data file. File extension is MAT. So you are able to save the Matlab, the variable as the something, anything like the file name dot MAT file extension. Okay, such as x equals 3, then you just type as save, and then this file name is my file, then the space is x, that means, so you're gonna generate it. You're gonna generate that my file dot map file, right? And then this map file is gonna contain the x variable. So what is x variable? It's gonna be 3. So I will show you what we're gonna do. It's a very basic thing. We went through clear and command the window, and then clear the workspace, and then by checking the layout, we are able to see the different layout of the Matlab window, 3 columns, whatever you can do. Okay. Let's try to generate this MAT map file right here, and your map file is gonna have containing the x variable. Okay. Let's see. From here, exactly the same thing. I'm going to do that, like the presentation. 1 plus 2. Right. As I say, without this semicolon operator, you're able to see that the what's from those license. Okay. X equals 3, but with this semicolon operator, you can see there's nothing gonna really display. Okay. Then we try to save that this x variable, try to generate something like the Matlab data file. Okay, Matlab data file. Okay. And exactly the same thing, type and then my file. Then you can type the including file extension such as MAT as a Matlab data file, MAT, and this one we try to have this data file having the variable is x. Okay. Then let's see. We just create the current folder. If you're looking at the folder, if you want, you can change the folder directory. So we just create the my file and MAT, right? Because we just create the data file, my file.mat, which has the x value, right? Let me see. Clear all the command window we can clear, and all the workspace we can clear, even CLC we can clear all the command window history. But somehow, if you turn on the Matlab, and there is something my file.mat, but you don't know, maybe you just save the my file having the x variable, which is the 3, but somehow you don't really remember when you just save this data file. Then what you're gonna do, just simply load and Just simply type the file name, my file, then it shows something. It shows something as the x here, x variable is 3. So if you simply type just variable is x, it show that the variable x name is 3. Okay, so we just went through how we're gonna save the Matlab's variable as something like the data file. File extension is mat file. Okay. And okay, that the presentation talking about that. This is the mat file. So originally, this presentation is going to be made by Dr. Peter Kimman, the research professor, Peter Kimman, who worked for the NASA, and he made a really nice presentation. Okay. Okay. And there is something as a DISP. So what is that DISP? So to Matlab, I just simply typed as X, but if you type as a DISP in X, something gonna display, right? So what is a DISP? It looks like display, right? So Matlab, as I say, is very, very user-friendly. You can easily expect what's going on, what this function looks like. So if you really want to know what is the DISP function, just simply type help, and then this is kind of the built-in function provided by the Mathwork. They provide that this function already built in this company. So if you see that this purple color of that DISP, which means it is the already built-in function. So help and display and then type. It's kind of busy this way. So Matlab provides a lot of information regarding display, right? So this is the display array, display of X, display of array of X without printing is array name of additional description information such as a size and class name. So anyway, DISP DISP is some variable you are able to display. So for example, so B equals 3, right? So DISP and 3. No, not this one. DISP display something about that. Okay, 3, right? And this is display function. Okay, what is that? The asterisk with asterisk is multiplication, right? So 3 times 4 is 12, but if you do not assign any variable, Matlab is assigned the variable automatically. The answer A and S is going to be outcome of this calculation. Okay, you can just try it. And then slash min is, as you expect that this is division. 24 divided by 6 is 4. I'm not going to really do that. So as I say, Matlab has a lot of built-in functions already. The company is made it. We just simply use these functions such as a sine function, okay, sine and cosine function, sine and pi over 2. So pi is it's 180 degree, right? So this is a unit as a radian. So sine pi over 2 as an engineering student, what is that? This is 1, right? So let's type that. It's very simple calculation. So what's the sine? That's a sine function, as you see. So Matlab provides this sine function already. If you help and type the sine function, you can see the sine of argument of the unit is supposed to be radian, right? Also, the similar thing is a sine. I think this is the inverse sine, I guess. Sine d mean this is the input supposed to be not the radian, it's going to be degree. Okay, let's see. Like the example here. So this time x is gonna be changed as the sine function, sine of the pi over 2. So 90 degree, right? Pi over 2 is gonna be 1. Then what if you put that the somehow, you put that the 190 degree, what you gonna get? Because this is gonna be unit surface radian, okay? So it doesn't really show as it's 1. If you want to put that input as a 90 degree, half and sine d, then you can put that as a degree. Sine of argument is unit surface in degree, then x is going to be sine d 90 degree. It's going to be 1 and 180 is going to be 0, right? Something like that. 670. This unit is a degree, it's -1. But if you want to change it to the radian, pi over 2. That's the 270 degree, right? But it's supposed to be a sine. -1, or something like that. Okay. What is that? Okay. So what if you put this? You forgot the asterisk. Asterisk is kind of time. It's multiplication. Instead of the asterisk, you just put that 3 pi and divide by 2. It looks working, but you will see that this, error message, invalid expression. Okay. So kindly, Matlab, explain what's wrong with that. What did I wrong? You just kind of missing. I just put the missing multiplication operator. Okay, so okay, it's good. It's very easy, right? Just like very expensive calculator using through the computer. Okay, so far very easy. I believe so. Okay, as I say, if you're curious something, just simply type and then help and then the function name. And Matlab showed a lot of information. And Matlab also has something like some documentation. Let me see. Yeah, search for the documentation right here. I think it can provide some information, I guess. Help and other window pops up. Like the help and some other documentation you're able to see. Okay, same thing, almost same thing. We can try to see that what is sine function, sine and cosine, and sine function right here, and sine of the argument in the radian and degree, and computed sine x times pi, inverse sine, and so forth. So for my course EC72, the Matlab, the language course, I do not really use any textbook. I just use this PowerPoint, and also I have other video provided by Dr. Peter Kingman. Then just using the PowerPoint and videos that if they still need some more information, then I'm gonna offer some additional textbook. But textbook is not really necessary in this course. So because Matlab is providing all kind of information, such as right here. If you type right here, then you could see the very nice example. So even though we haven't really looking at this colon operator and plot function, so they show this very simple example. So let's see. So plot the sine function over the time domain. As a engineering student, you have many chance to draw the this kind of 2D and 3D plot. So for example, you have that x is going to be range between the minus pi through the pi 180 degree. And you just want to plot this sine function based on this x, range versus this sine function. So you're going to create that. We'll cover it later on. So pi is x is going to be some vector range between the minus pi through the pi, and then increasement is kind of a space going to be increasement is going to be 0.001. Then you're going to create a bunch of vector, bunch of this number for the x. Then you're going to plot. This is the there's already Matlab provide the built-in function. Plot some this x vector versus the sine vector, sine of x vector, and then grid it on. Then just put the display, put the additional adding the grid. Okay. So let's see the very simple example. Even though we do not cover the plot today, I just want to show that some kind of flavor of the Matlab, how it could be used for the Matlab, the engineering example, clear, and then CRC. Okay. What's that? This is gonna be x range between the minus pi through the pi, and the increasement 0.001. Then you can see the bunch of vector could be created between the columns. So there's so many vector we create that. Okay, let me see. Let me simply size of x. So we're gonna create the 1 by 629 column. Big vector we just created, and let's see, y vector is gonna be sine function of the input. So almost same number of vector will be created, but number gonna be different, right? Because input of this sine function is going to be minus pi through the positive pi, right? Increasement, as I say, 0.001, okay? So we're going to create the almost same number of vector. It's going to different number. Same size, y vector. Size. This size function shows that the size of the each of vector. So y vector, or something like that. Okay, same vector we created. There is some plot function. Okay, you can plot some Matlab based on this, same number of the size of the vector. We create the same number of x vector. We also create the same number of the y vector. So we just simply plot, right? Just using the plot x versus the y. Then you can create the very nice curve. Okay, you see, it's gonna pop up out the window. Okay, you can see that, right? And then just typing the grid, you can add the grid of this graph. Let's see. Okay, so but you can try. Anybody have some questions? So already 10:50. Yeah, I have to do the maybe after 5 minutes we're gonna have a 5-minute restroom break. Anybody? You are still there? Just treat Matlab is very easy language. This is not really difficult, language at all. Everybody good or any question? It's okay? It's too easy? Easy for you? Okay, I will do that. And show the vector. Okay. Okay. Clear and clear the older screen. Let's clear the clear the all the workspace variable. Now we're gonna create the x vector. Range is minus pi through the increment. Space is gonna be 0, 0, 1. So let's try this time, increment is 0.0. So which means we're gonna reduce size of the x vector. Okay, based on this is color operator, you can set is minus pi as the beginning, initial number, right? So you're gonna increase by 0.1. Ending number is pi, okay? So this time you're gonna create only 63, the column, 1 by 63. Then y vector, okay, let me do that one more time. I just create this vector, right? And y vector is gonna be input of this x vector, sine of x. Same number of vector could be generated because same input is gonna be, this is gonna be same number of the input of the x vector is gonna be going to the sine function, sine function of the input. So 1 by 63 sine vector will be generated. Size y vector. Okay. Then what you can do, just plot function, using the plot function x versus the y, and this is it. You are able to plot this x versus the y vector, something like that. So which is gonna have a 63 number. What's that? Size is gonna be x versus the y. Okay. So other additional function for the plotting, we're gonna cover later. Okay, don't worry about that. I just want to give you very basic how we could manipulate and play with this kind of spectrum, how we're gonna generate it. Okay, you're welcome. And then the grid, and then it can display very nicely. Something with the grid. We can put the title. Design. There's command for trend line. Command for trend line. So what does it mean? So can you can speak up? Yeah. I can hear you. Yeah. And you. This command for trend line. I'm not sure. Yeah, trend line. So yeah, there is something. So we're gonna cover later regarding the plot. Okay, there is something for the command. I just want to see this time. There are different type of the line you're gonna see, but we're gonna cover later. Okay, the different type of the line you're gonna select it by putting the additional. Okay. Okay, so just look into later. Okay, I'll explain. Okay, and let me see. So now it's 10:54. So we're gonna have a 5-minute break and then come back to 11. So yeah, don't confuse. As I say, it's Matlab is very easy language. If you already got confused what's going on, but okay, we'll see. We'll see. I try to explain as easily as much as I can, but we'll see. Let's have a 5-minute break and come back to 11. Okay. Stop sharing. Okay, so let's keep walking on. Yeah, my left. So and yeah, this time the second section we're gonna talk about the how we're gonna create the script file. Okay, so once create a script file, then try to execute the script file, then try to publish script file in the different file formats such as the PDF, HTML, such as web, the based file format. Okay. And let me show the screen right here. Okay, so now we're gonna write the code in the additional window. Then we're gonna write the code as a script file. Okay, what are you gonna do? Then you're gonna save the file extension as the M file. Okay, just take a look at it, and then Matlab here. So now, so far we have seen that most of the activity going on the command window, but actual real code is gonna be on this environment. Okay, if you go that script, okay, you can type the script file right over here and click it. You're gonna have a blank script file first. So if you click it, and you're gonna have the some window, but you can have an additional undocking this text editor is a window. Okay, right, so you can do the undocking right here. So this time, when it comes to writing the script file, you better have the separate window, undocking the window. So any problem? So let's go one more time. Just go click the new script right here, new script, and then you're gonna have an undocking is a window, okay, right here. If you want to docking the editor right here, so it's going back to you can write the code right here, but and most of the time, but sometimes your code is going to be such a long, huge code, then you gotta have the additional or the separate window. Just the undocking right here. Then you're gonna write your code. Okay. What we're gonna do? First line of code, and let's see. Normally we're gonna put the CLC and then clear, so that all this previous variable will be gone. It's not really interacting overlap with the other variable. And just you have to write something with that. What kind of code are you gonna write it? This is percent, clean percent sign doesn't affect your code at all. Just show that the description command. Okay, so just I'm gonna write the code as power 2. That's just like command expression. Okay, doesn't really affect your code at all. Then you're gonna like the example x equals to 8 equal. Okay, and then y equals 2. A little bit silly example, but I just follow the same example anyway. I'm not sure why Peter Kimman put the x and y not really related to each other, but anyway, okay, just for the example. So without this, the semicolon operator, when you execute the program, it's gonna display each of the variables, such as x equals 8, y equals the 256, and so on. But with this, semicolon operator, so that means when you execute, when you execute this program, run the program, but it doesn't really show anything output of the X and Y unless you say something, okay? At the last line of code, what you're gonna do, display DISP Y, okay? So we just want to display of Y is a 2 to the 8, which is the 256. Then how are we gonna run this code, okay? We're gonna write that. I didn't put anything, it's still untitled to, there's no Pacific limit. And if you click is the run, nothing going on, right? So other window is pops up, gonna ask you save is this file name. So file, save as file extension is gonna be M file, right? So because most of the script file extension is gonna be solely M script file, okay? And so you're gonna save as the like the example is MP. You can choose the different directory, okay? Let's see. Choose the maybe under the Google Drive, Matlab workshop. Okay. Then when you click, okay, then run, then this Matlab pilot will show that to run this file, you can either change the Matlab current folder or add additional folder. Maybe you can put the edit path or change the folder. So either option will be fine. So I'm gonna change the folder as the here, so that it can be executed. Okay. Then just click that this run icon. So it's gonna save as the let it save as examp.m file, right? So by executing this script file, what you expect? We're gonna expect, because at the end of the line is gonna be 6th line. It shows that DISP Y will be displayed. Okay, it's a 256. Seems like it's something is working, and just go back to the command window. We displayed 256. So let's go back. Sure. Yes, there's nothing is over here, right? So let's go back to my script file right here. We just wrote X variable and Y variable, but if you want, you can put this X over here because X is the A, right? It's lowercase of X. And save and 256 is displayed. Okay, so if you try, wanna have a maybe 10. So without this one, still execute the program, such as the first line is CLC and clears. We do know what it is, right? It's clear the window and all the history. Without this one, still, this program is still executable, okay? Because there is no error. Then 2 to the 10, I think 10,000 something number, bigger number will be displayed. And, right, something like that, okay? Because we execute this file name, exam P and 10 to the 24, okay? Okay, so next thing, what are you gonna do? Next thing, we're going to publish the your script file. Okay. So any question so far regarding the making the script file here? So pretty much easy, right? So additional window and save the file and set the additional, change the folder or adding the path, and you could execute the your script file. Okay, you can set the file name is the whatever you could name that. Okay, but there is a kind of some restriction, so you cannot really put using that the symbol in front of that the name of the file, something like that. But other than that, you are able to execute the file. So next thing, I know it is very simple program. So next thing, what are you gonna do? We're gonna do publish the M script file. So main reason is that sometimes you could write the code, file extension is M script file, right? M file name, file extension is M file. We call it M file, but only can be recognized on the Matlab environment. So you just want to show that something maybe, in terms of writing the report or homework, then you're going to show something, your code looks like that. But of course you can, copy the capture the figure window and then paste it. But sometimes you could just converting the file from M file to PDF or Word documentation or HTML or some web documentation. So now we're going to do that, to try to do converting the file from the M file, so such as the problem 1 and 2 display X and Y. Then when when it comes to the publishing this M file, maybe in the PDF, is gonna nicely print out that this is not only the problem, it show that even the output. So let's try to do the converting the file, publish the file through the Matlab environment. File name is the PDF file. Okay. So from that, the text editor or script file, like example, very simple thing we're going to do. So first one is, so with these two, the percent sign, I think this number, the comment is going to be a little bit bold and bigger size. That's going to be problem of 1. Same example, x plus 1. Of course, we're going to display as 2, right? X going to be displayed as 2. And the second one is problem 2. So you can try also, okay, in your computer. Problem 2, then exactly the same thing. So y 2 plus 2 and equal y. Okay. So now we're gonna save as this one. We're gonna save as exempt1. Save different file name. Yeah. Okay. So looks, everything is okay, good. And by clicking here, run, then 2 and 4 will be displayed. If you see that, show that I just have execute the example1, and 2 and 4 will be displayed. If you go to workplace, 2 is saved as the X is going to be saved as 2, Y is going to be saved as a 4. Okay. Okay. So now what I say, we want to convert this file. File is M2 PDF file. How are we going to do that? So if you want to do that, just click right here. Okay. Publish. Right? From the editor, we just save it, right? We just save and you even execute the program, then see what's going on, right? We see that what the output looks like. X is 2, Y is equals 4. So we do know that. So now we want to publish the file as a PDF file format. How are we going to do that? Just go the publish right here. Just select the tab here, publish, and publish, and then publish this code, but we want to publish, select the publish option by choosing the edit publish option right here. Then other window pops up, as you see. So you're gonna choose the output folder option right here under the current folder, Matlab workshop that I choose, but you can choose the different folder, whatever you want. Output file format option is, I say, by default, HTML, this is the web file option, but LaTeX, DOC, and PPT, PowerPoint file format, everything, any different file format you can do. This time I just simply choose the PDF file format because other methods will be pretty much the same. PPT, PDF file format right here, and publish. It takes some time. Okay. Publish. Let me see. I think already published. So let's check that the directory folder. Still, it hasn't published yet. Let me see. See, publish. It's supposed to be published, but nothing going on. Just my computer is kind of a little bit slow. Anybody able to do? Yes, finally your walkthrough. Okay. Okay. So publish this option could be used for the maybe your report or homework problems. So you think your code looks everything is okay, then you see that, right? So problem 1 is going to be a little bit bold case, a little bit bigger font size, right? X equal 2, then display. Okay, X is 2, and problem 2, Y and 2 and 2 and so forth. Okay, and then even publish with the Matlab. The conversion show. Okay, that's the very basic things we just covered so far. Okay. But you are able to, maybe you can change the different file format, such as the HTML, DOC, and PowerPoint, but PDF, pretty much same methods, okay? Same procedure. Okay. Okay, so from the first, the PowerPoint, we just create the some variable. So we see that there are several windows, the Matlab, some kind of workspace, which can save some several variable. You can create a command window, and also you are able to save the file. File name is the MAT, which is the data file format, and that this data can maybe contain, can have that this some variable you just create, and then the clear and CLC function, we know what it is. And we can change the different the layout. Also, we could loading this Matlab, the data file, and we know what it is, display function. Also, there are a bunch of the built-in functions, sine function, sine. In my head, they have maybe cosine function, COS, and sine D, and sine, same as sine function, but input will be degree instead of the radian. Let me see, a lot of documentation. If you like to know there's some specific Matlab function, simply type on the command window health and space, whatever the function you are looking for, sine function or DISP function and so forth. The last thing is text editor. With a separate window, actually we could write the code, Then we are, by executing this is code, simply clicking the run, this is the icon. It shows that some output based on that. And even we could print out this code, okay? So also one more thing I just want to say that it has a kind of breakout function. So which means we are able to execute the program line by line. Then we can check it out, like the command window. Let's see, window. I'm gonna clear everything. Clear CLC. Starting from the new line. Let's see, because just code is like 6 line. I'm gonna darken the editor right here. Then what you're gonna do? I'm gonna set up some breaking point for the editing here. Just kind of debugging purpose, okay? Editor, yeah, breaking point here. So you can set it up line. There is some slash over here, bar, hyphen. Okay, just selecting as the red small circle will proceed, and right here. So between beginning and ending of the program line, you could checking the program line by line, okay, for the debugging purpose. So once you set, this is the beginning, and then this is ending, then setting the breaking point, clicking the run, then you can execute the program. It's gonna be K and then some 2 arrow sign. So just step in. Just step. The first step of the second line, the line 2. Second line is execute as the x equals 2, but we haven't really executed line 6, right? It's gonna be line by line. You're gonna keep going in, step in. Then why we haven't executed number 6, just indicating line number 6 of this code. Then after that, after this step, the y is gonna save as 4. Then after that, we're gonna display this y. 2 and 4 is display. Okay, then we're done for the debugging. Then you can quit the debugging. Then disable these 2 breakpoints. Then execute the program one more time, whole program. See that, right? So that's the other method. If you want to debug some code, specific, the point, specific region, specific line, by some range of the code, you are able to debug it by setting the breaking point. So that is the other powerful thing for the powerful function of the Matlab for the in terms of debug. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the next presentation. So hopefully so far it's very easy. Okay, we know how to generate the some variable. We know how to create the some text file, right? Some script file. Then we know how to convert the file from the M file to PDF file format. Okay. By generating PDF file format, and then even outcome of the each of the code could see, because we command the Matlab display of the X, right? And then display of the Y, then Matlab just follow our command. Okay. Let's see a little bit more about the today workshop. So next thing is I think regarding the I think vector introduction something. Okay. So the introduction of Matlab is going to be computation environment, plotting software, and program language. Very easy. And sometimes it could be super calculator, very popular in the engineering application you guys in, and audio processing, image processing, because Dr. Peter Kimman, who made this PowerPoint, is going to be audio image processing, but actually I'm in the power and power control, the control system area. So very, very popular in the control area, right? Even mechanical engineering, even the civil engineering. I'm not sure how civil engineering could be used, but at least I can tell mechanical and electrical is going to be very, very popular, even computer engineering. Okay. So this presentation, I'm going to cover some functions and how we're going to create the scalar function and vector function and matrix, and also printing function using the fprint function. But I'm not sure I'm going to really cover the fprint function. Maybe tomorrow workshop I'm going to cover the fprint function. Okay. So if you see that this each of the PowerPoint presentation, there is some exercise. Okay. After this workshop, you can try the exercise. Okay. Okay, so what is that? This is going to be x is going to be 1.23, y equals pi. Pi means we already know it's radian, 180 degree, or pi could be used for calculating the area of a circle. As you see that, it's going to be long digit, right? Below the decimal point. And display of x, 1.23 by default, then you could display the number is going to be 4 digit of the below the decimal point. If you're saying that the format long of the y, so the pi is going to be you can check the number, check the how many digits we are able to display below the decimal point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 16 digit or close to 15 digits, very long digit we are able to display. If you set the format is the long, otherwise by default format is going to be short, it's going to use just display only 4 digits of the below the decimal point. So you can try copy and paste how output looks like. And we are able to do the arithmetic calculation. X equals 3 and 2 plus addition minus subtraction, asterisk is multiplication, backslash is division. The head means power, raising the power. You're able to do that. So you can try x equals 3 and y equals 2. Just copy and paste. As I say, that is the percent sign doesn't affect anything on your program. Just simply just like the command or description of the code. Let me see. I will just show the very basic of this. For example, x equals 2, 3. So you can write the code in the command window or text editor as a script file. Same thing, but you can show the output. But text window, you just say after saving, then you need to execute the program. X equal 0.2. Just same example what I really show already. Pi, and nothing is really shown. Okay, so if you say even execute the program, because we didn't command anything, just say x and the y. Save the x and y variable. It's supposed to be y. So then TISP. So now we're gonna display something x and then comma long. So let's see what can really see. So still x is gonna be by default as the not much, only 4 digits you are able to see, right? Below the decimal point. Then you're gonna format long and TISP with the pi is gonna be a little bit longer. Okay, save. You could see that long digit of the below decimal point able to display, but it's not really necessary. But below the 4 digit will be fine, but unless you really want to see that what's going on the pi below the decimal point. Okay, and long and then same thing, format short. X, not there. Not sure. Then check it. Format short, but we have to assign something, right? Format long and TSP Y. Okay, so you see that the difference between the format long and short. Okay, this is very trivial, so not really used very often, but anyway, I can see something like that. And then other thing is the arithmetic, TISP, because we just save as X and Y, and then just type as the command window, X plus Y, not this one, right? So addition, subtraction, right? And then multiplication, and then division. It's pretty much easy. And then last one is raising the power, x to the power of y, something like that. So only it happens between the scalar, right? Not the vector. Okay, just only single number between that. So you are able to do that, right? 4 times 5 and 2 times raising the 2 to the power 10. So, and this is the multiplication symbol, and the head is raising the power symbol. And this purpose to show that the main difference between the Matlab and the C and C++ language. If you are familiar with the C and C++ language, you're able to see there's some difference between the Matlab and C++. Okay, in case of the some vector, you just create the x vector, which has the 5 different number, okay? 8 to -3 and 7 and -1. When it comes to the indexing, each of the vector in C and C++, starting from that 0 indexing, 0, first, second, third, and fourth. For Matlab, it doesn't have no 0 indexing. Index start from 1. Okay, I will show that what it is. For example, you're gonna create that. So see here. What it is, let's create the x vector. X vector is gonna be, I think that's the last one for today. So you can put the space, without space, same thing. You are able to create this x vector, such as a, 8, and then 2, -3, and 7, and -1 with the square bracket. So which means we just create the x vector. Okay, if you see that, x vectors, not really solely scalars. X vector has the 5 different numbers, such as 8, first one, first index, second index, 2, -3, and 7, and -1. Same vector could be created between the 8 and 2, each of number, you can put the comma. Same the vector, exactly same vector create. Okay. Same output you can see. So we try to extract one of the elements. How are we going to do? So Matlab, as I said, Matlab indexing starting from 1, right? From the first, there's no 0 indexing. For example, if you put that x equals 0, what happens? Nothing. Array index must be positive integer or logical value. Okay. The x of the 1, as you see that x of 1 is going to be first index is going to be 8. X of the 2 is 0. X of 5 is what? -1. Parenthesis 5 -1. What if by mistake you just put the x of -1? Nothing. So which means there is no 0 indexing and no negative index, right? That's the one thing to mention in the PowerPoint. Okay, so now we are able to create some vector. So this is the row vector. Okay, so we're gonna create the row vector, x vector, y vector, and the final z vectors. We're gonna connect, which means concatenating row vectors as one big row vector. Okay, which means the 6 element of row vector. How are we gonna create it? In terms of creating the vector, what are you gonna use? Square bracket. Okay, square bracket. You can put the number. So whichever space is gonna be, you can put recognize as comma. You can put the comma between the element, between the number. So if you see that the x is gonna be, we're gonna create your one vector. Size is gonna be one row, and 3 different columns, 3 number, 1, 2, 3. Y vector, you can create a 4, 5, 6. Then start a new z vector. You can combine this one row vector, which means 1 through the 6. Let's simply do that. And the next thing, okay. So next thing is that these 2 vector, as I said, exactly what I told before. With the comma, you can create a row vector. Then display of the x vector, you are able to look at length of x vector. Length of x vector means just how many elements you have this X vector. We have a 3 element. Also, you could see the size of the vector. Size of a vector means so one row, the 3 different columns. So 1 means row information, 3 means column information. Okay, and then using the this colon semicolon operator, what you can do, you can make the column vector. You could displace y and size. You can check this size. So let's take a look at very quickly about this using the lab. So CRC, and first create the X vector. It doesn't matter whether using the comma or no. Just as long as you put the space between that. X vector, right? So Y vector 4, 5, 6. So this is the row vector, as you see. If you see the size of the Y, it shows 1 by 3. 1 means row vector, row, 1 row, and 3 column. Okay, 3 different number. And the Z vector, you can rename that. You can combine these 2 vector, X versus the you can use the comma anyway, same thing you can see. You can combine these 2 row vector, okay? And if you want to display, you can using the Z able to display, and then okay, the column vector. How are we going to make the column vector? We know how to make it, how to generate the, how to create the row vector. So what if you want to create the column vector instead of the row vector? I just want to create a column vector. How are we going to do that? Then you need to using the semicolon operator, such as the this one. Okay, 2, 3. Okay, then 1 column, 3 row. Okay, if you're looking at the size of the Y vector, it's gonna be, what is that? 3 row, 3 by 1, 3 row, 1 column. Okay. Okay, so last thing for the today. So I don't want to give you too much information for the first day of the workshop. Okay. Next week, I know you guys are gonna be busy. The last thing is that the transpose. Okay. Using the transpose sign, apostrophe, right? Then that is transpose of the X vectors. Actually, X vector is, you see that 1, 2, 3. But by putting the apostrophe, what will happen? So this row vector could change to the column vector, right? Even the column vector, by putting this apostrophe, this sign, then what will happen? Column vector will be changed as a row vector. Let's take a look at it very quickly. Yeah, that's the last thing for today. Then other thing is that you can just try the exercise and looking at the upcoming PowerPoint for the today, vector and plot and flow control and so forth. So we're gonna cover one by one throughout this workshop. So don't worry about it. If you don't have any not much program background, you are not really good at the program, don't worry. Matlab is very easy program, very user friendly. Okay. Okay, let's see. Clear. CRC. And then last thing is X vector. It's going to be 1, 2, and 3. As I told you, you can put the comma between the number, the same vector will be generated. So now Y vector, I want to change this X vector as a the row vector to the column vector. Okay. And what are you going to do? Using the this sign. The sign then is become, it can be changed from the row vector to the column vector. Okay, just simply see that column vector. If you want to go back to this column vector to the row vector, okay, you can see the size. You can check the size of that very easily. 3 by 1. Initially, this is X vector is going to be, as you see that, 1 by 3, 1 row and 3 column, but by putting the opposite y vector is going to be is what? It is column vector, as you see that, right? And then last thing is we want to have the original vector y. The y, as you see that this is the column vector, right? 3 by 1, because we change using the this apostrophe, okay? So row vector and become the column vector. And the final z vector, I just want to go back to the original row vector, okay? Row vector is that. So simply putting that, the same transpose sign, then become the row vector, okay? So what you're gonna do after the this workshop, going through this exercise, and then by looking at this each of the PowerPoint, I believe you are able to do it by yourself, okay? Even the exercise is pretty much easy. So take a look at it. We're gonna going through one by one tomorrow workshop, and tomorrow also we're gonna cover. Let me see. Some vector, a matrix we're gonna cover tomorrow, and matrix, and some vector, and then color image will be covered. Okay. Okay, this is just for the introduction. Okay, for the today. Okay, I hopefully you not really feel overwhelmed, right? So hopefully very. This Matlab language could be used for any engineering application, your homework problem, your senior design. Also, it could be very helpful in terms of the job searching after the graduation. Okay. Okay, I think that's all. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Okay. So I'm gonna follow the same, the PowerPoint that I provide you through the Honors email. Then I'm gonna present something about the PowerPoint. Then I'm gonna show the code how it's working through the Matlab environment. Hopefully you're gonna install the Matlab by tomorrow. If you're not, still working on the online, the Matlab environment. It's not really recommended, but if you don't have the, your computer is much that kind of the capability to handle the Matlab, you could do using the Matlab online version, but I strongly recommend you install the Matlab actually in your computer. Okay. See you tomorrow at the same time. Okay. See you. Any question, and you can just feel free to ask me. Okay. Have a good day and see you. And see you. Okay. If you don't have questions, I'm gonna leave. Okay. Okay. So see ya. Bye.